Hey guys, today we're talking about the Jetbeam T4 Pro. What a nice value. I review a lot of lights, guys, and I always try and gravitate towards the lights that are a good value. I could easily be like other channels and just review all these like 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 lumen, $200 and $300 and $400 flashlights, but you guys don't want that. You're looking for deals, you're looking for bargains, and the T4 Pro is just that. This is a single 26650 flashlight, so you're going to need, it comes with a battery, so if you do want spares, you're going to have to buy 26650s, but you can also use 18650s with a spacer, which you can get those online as well, or make your own out of PVC. It's an xhp50 LED, which we've discussed before. It's a multi-dye LED, so it is the equivalent of taking like 4 LEDs and putting them under one dome. It runs at a higher voltage and allows you to have a true, 2, 3, 4,000 lumen flashlight. So in this case, it's 2,500. We're going to go over the numbers real quick. Flashlight has a lot of the usual stuff, your shockproof, waterproof. Let me, sorry guys here. And you can see you have the 2,500 for an hour, 1,000 for 2.1, 300 for 6.7 hours, 50 lumens for 85 hours. Now my performance came in a little bit different than that. What I found is the flashlight does have a step down after a couple of minutes, so you are going to go from 2,500 lumens down to 1,000 after a few minutes, and that's industry standard, guys. It should say in there. Jetbeam really should have it noted that there is a step down, but a lot of the manufacturers don't, so don't think it's just Jetbeam. It's really, there's only a couple of people being honest in the industry, so it's just one of those areas they got to work on. So it steps down after a couple minutes, and then you do get the full 2 hours. I don't know why they wrote 1 hour. I guess maybe if you ran the turbo, a bunch of times, it will probably be an hour, and maybe that's what they assumed, was you would run turbo 5, 6, 7, 8 times. But if you just turn this thing on and walk away, it's going to run for 2,500 for a couple minutes, step down to 1,000, and then remain on for 2 hours. It comes with a Jetbeam branded battery in there. And you can see the charging port is a little barrel connector. I'm a little disappointed by that. I'd rather it just be a normal USB port, because it worries me about how waterproof that is. But it comes with the cable, so you do have a little bit of a portability issue, as well as it's not going to interchange with other flashlights and other systems because of that port. So that is one of the only complaints I really have about the light, actually, is that. But is it a like a deal breaker? No. Is it something that could cause issues if you're using it in a bug out bag? Yeah, because you now have to carry an extra cord. It's an electronic switch, which means that the switch is powered all the time. Now what that allows you to do is access different things. You can access your strobe and all that from while the light is off by the double click. So you can double click right into strobe. You can turn that off. Long press turns it on. Has a very long press. You can see it's well over a second. Holding it switches between your modes. There are 4 modes. Oops. Sorry, we're to beacon. So you can see you got your 4 modes, and then double click will bring you back to strobe. Long press turns you back off. We have an orange peel reflector with some really nice clear glass, guys. Check that out. No reflection from the lights. That is a true anti-reflective coating. You can't even see. Normally with these flashlights, guys, when I hold this up like that, you can see, there's a little bit of the bright light, but for the most part, the lights that are actually overhead, you can't see. You can see there's that multi-dye emitter down there. There's 4 little LEDs under that dome. Stainless steel bezel. Nice amount of weight in the head. Cooling fins. All that cool stuff. The Jetbeam branded battery as well. And we will clip this microphone. I don't know why I'm holding the microphone this time. We're going to pop open this sucker so we can take a look. I know I often like to show you guys the threads. I think it's really important for you guys to see the machining. So you can see you have the spring on the bottom, nice thick spring, what I expect. Factory lubed, I did not do that. O-ring sealed. The threads, try and bring that in there. A lot of people are really into threads. Here they're not square cut, but there's some kind of like tapered thread there. But they are anodized, so you can unthread the cap for a physical lockout, which will cut the electrical connection. That way your electrical switch isn't drawing juice all the time. Very important feature. Here's your Jetbeam 5000 milliamp hour battery. Flat top. Inside the tube, there is a brass button for contact. So if you are going to buy replacement batteries, you want to make sure that they are in spec with what you have here, because a protected button top just might not work. Alright, so we're going to pop this over here, because guess what? Through the miracle of editing, we are going to wipe in some footage. Oh yeah. Yeah, you like that, didn't you guys? Alright, so as I said, this light is a great value. It's got a lot of power. It's you know, a nice little light, and most of the competition out there, guys, is massively more expensive. Most of these xhp50 lights that are multi-thousand lumen are $80, $90, and $100, and you're able to get this for $59 shipped, which does make it a good light in the marketplace. The price-wise is very competitive, and in fact, the only other light that's, you know, even comparable is that Convoy L6 we talked about, but that's a 226-650 light, and it uses the xhp50, so a little different class of a flashlight, but it's in the same price range. It's in that same $60 price range. So not many options in that price range, but this is a very small, compact, portable. You know, this is a terrific light for guys who might be law enforcement, because it does have the instant access to the turbo, the different modes, kind of a big heavy light. You can carry it on your belt and not be too obtrusive. You got good run times, you know, nice and bright. It's not really a thrower. It spreads the light out pretty evenly with that orange peel reflector. But overall, like, this is something a law enforcement guy could use. Hunters, people like that. There's a lot of people who use this professionally as well. People who do want the high lumen flashlights. People who, you know, do search and rescue. Like if I were doing search and rescue work still, which I don't anymore and haven't in a while, but this would be the kind of light I want on my belt. Sure, I would want a spotlight for searching, but this is the kind of light I would want on my belt to go to when I don't need the spotlight. You know, to navigate with and all that, and close-up work, something like this, because I do have a good range between 50 lumens and 2500, and I can charge it for my car. I can, you know, there's a lot of good things about this that make this a good working light, and I think that's where your value comes in. Is not only is this a $60 light, but it's a $60 light with a battery and a charger. So you can buy other lights, you know, like the olight. You're talking $90 for their what is it, the R50 is around $80, $90, and there's a couple other flashlights on the market that are single XHP or xhp50 with a single 26650, but they're running $60, $70, and then you've got to buy a charger and a battery for it. So, you know, you really do get your money's worth, your value's worth. Just really cool. Also, it can be threaded to go into a tripod, so if you want to use this for photography. Overall, not too bad. Only complaints, like I said, I don't like this charging port. I really wish it was something a little more protected. And my only other complaint really is the tint, and you're not really going to be able to tell from the camera because the camera hides it, but the tint is a little bluish. You know, is that something for most people? No, but for flashlight snobs, that's going to be a little bit of a thing. So it is something to pay attention to if you are very sensitive to tint. This thing may not have a tint that you're really tremendously into, but overall, it's a nice big stout light. You know, when I did security work, I would have died for a flashlight like this. We were all carrying mag lights, you know, little wannabe cops, you know, and carrying mag lights. This would have been so much easier, so much nicer to do that kind of job. And I know this is something that my guys who are friends who are cops love, these sort of lights, and just trip over them now because nobody wants to carry the big mag lights anymore. And just with the power and all that, these are really great. So I hope you guys enjoyed.